Hi everyone, welcome to Silver Crow Tarot. I'm Lindsay, and I have some decks to show you today. Imagine that. Moving on from the 11 current faves that was part of my last video. When April rolled around, I decided I need to get busy and decide which decks I'm going to take with me on our fastly approaching 2-month trip to the UK and Europe. And I have to tell you, deciding which decks to travel with me is probably more challenging and time consuming than picking out my clothes and packing. Seriously, I'm not joking. I spent 6 hours pairing Oracle and Tarot decks to see which ones I wanted to really work with and get to know. Some old faves were in the running, and ones that I usually take with me every time I go, but I wanted some different decks, some that maybe I haven't used in a while, and that I won't get bored with. We are sailing to Southampton, England from Florida here, but we'll be flying back, so weight is an issue, when you're packing for airline flights. And I probably want to save a little bit of weight room in my suitcase in case I want to buy something while I'm over there, and chances are I will want to buy something while I'm over there. But I think, and I'm going to say think, I've settled on the decks. At least that's what I'm telling myself at the moment. I may be doing some pairings here just so you see where my mind is. And hopefully I won't change my mind, because I seriously do need to get started figuring out what clothes I'm going to wear, what shoes I'm going to pack, stuff like that. So first are the decks that I always say are non-negotiable, but come on, everything's negotiable, really, I think. But decks that I tend to take with me. I do have one non-negotiable, and that's this one. It is my Mother Mary Pocket Edition, and Mother Mary goes where I go. I have the larger deck as well, and I love this deck. So when they came out with the Pocket Edition, I had to have it so that I could travel with it, so that she's always with me. I am not a religious person at all whatsoever, but there is something so calming and peaceful and loving and nurturing about this deck, about this, just the imagery alone, just, I don't know, zens me out, I guess. And I absolutely adore it. I typically pull one card a week from the larger version I have, and I have a little shrine on my wall that's dedicated to Mother Mary, and I put the large card up there once a week, and she is always giving me the messages and telling me exactly what I need to hear, when I need to hear it. And honestly, I can probably count on one hand the times that I have not cried or had tears in my eyes or got emotional after reading the message that came through. And I feel very, very connected to her, and I love this deck. So truly and truly, this is probably my only non-negotiable. She's going to go where I go. The next one that usually always travels with me is the spirit animal. When I'm at home, this is the Pocket Edition. I was thrilled when this Pocket Edition came out, so I would have this to travel with me, because I use the larger version, and I do the same thing once a week. I pull an animal spirit card, and just, what animal spirit is lending me their energy for the week, what messages they may have. And we can always learn from nature. And this is one of my tried and true decks. And it goes with just about everything I have, and who doesn't love cute animals? I know some people don't like them to be dressed up, and have little crowns on, and like the owl with the crown on, but I don't mind it. I love the artwork on this. I think they did a fabulous job. This deck, if you don't know, is by Colette Baron Reed. I have quite a few of her decks. I enjoy them. I really do, because they are uplifting, and even if a card pops out reversed, the message, the protection message it brings is uplifting in a way too. It's not like shame on you. It's very different. And I love that deer picture. Look at those big beautiful eyes with the feathers. I think it's gorgeous. So this deck goes with me, and I'm gonna say not negotiable. It's gonna go with me, but things can change. The other one is another Colette Baron Reed deck. This one is usually the main oracle I take with me when I travel. I thoroughly enjoy this deck. This deck, I've had it since it came out. When did it come out? The Enchanted Map. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. It came out in 2011. So I've had it at least that long. And it's like home to me. Mine is a trimmed version. I know that the new one that came out has a different banner here, and I thought about getting that, or even getting the pocket edition of this, but to travel with, I don't need to. This is trimmed down. It's it's small enough to travel. It's not a super heavy deck. I trimmed mine in these wonderful colors that sort of match the map on the back. But if you've watched any of my videos, you've seen this deck, because it probably is. This one and the Spirit Animal are my two most used decks. So I love this one. Like I said, it's home to me. I know it pretty much inside and out, and I never get tired of it. I never do. You're going to see this one in a minute, so I'm just going to set it off to the side here. The other one, I got this deck last year, and I really got it to take on the fall when we went to Spain and we went to Italy and stuff. I got this deck to carry with me. I have been using the Hanson Roberts, and if you know that deck, it's very small, and that was usually the one I carried with me. But I saw this and I thought, let me give this one a try, since I'm not overly inspired by Pixie's art. I mean, I shouldn't say, I say that all the time and it sounds bad, and I don't mean it that way. I mean, I don't get a lot of intuitive hits, not with the larger decks, but for some reason this one works for me. I can read with this deck so easily, and I like the art, I guess maybe in this size. I don't know. I think the bigger decks, and I have the plaid back, the blue plaid back deck, and then I have the borderless version, and I rarely pull those. They just don't do it for me, but these do. So, and it's easy. I can put this in my purse, and if you follow me on Instagram at all, you'll see that I was out and about sitting in a park and pulled this deck out on a bench and sat there and did a little reading out in Barcelona and other places I've been. So I don't say that this is non-negotiable, because I may want to still bring my Hanson Roberts with me as well. We'll switch them out because they're both nice decks. I really enjoy this. I really do. It's cute. It's a cute little deck. Love it. Okay, another deck that I am currently is obsessed a word? I don't know if I should use obsessed. Well, I am going to use obsessed, but maybe not for this particular deck, but for another one that I'll be showing you. This one, Star Tarot. I've had it for a while. I haven't used it much, but recently I pulled it out with the Season of the Witch Ostara Oracle and started using this deck, and I'm in love with it. I truly am. I like, oh, and I'll come back. Sorry, squirrel brain. It pairs very nicely with the Enchanted Map. So I thought, there you go. I like that there are different artists, 4 different artists on this book. Or, sorry, that made the cards. Molly Applejohn, Eden Cook, Krista Gibbard, and Julia Iredale. And while their styles are different, and I'm now learning to distinguish their art styles, so I know who is the artist for each card. There's a cohesiveness to it. A lot of times, decks that I've seen online that had different artists, they seem to be disjointed to me. And while I can still appreciate the artwork, I just was never sure if it would flow well for me in a reading, because the first thing I read, I don't even look at I shouldn't say I don't look at it. I do. I see it. I notice it. I see that this is the 8 of Coins. Okay, and I see that that this is the 6 of Cups. I see that, but it's the imagery. The imagery captures me right away, and that's what I go with first. Then I sort of take note of the number, and then I go with the meaning. But this deck is really, it's holding my attention, I should say, because I will get bored with the deck. Looking at the same artwork over and over and over, it will bore me, I would love to do a deep dive like a lot of people do on, they'll take a deck and they'll work with it for a month or 2 or 6 or a year or something. I can't do that. My deep dive is working with it every day for 1 week, and I know the deck at that point, and then I have to move on because it's not going to hold my attention. However, this deck might be the exception to the rule because it is different and the art draws me in. I mean, it just, the art captures me here, and I'm in awe of it. I don't know why I haven't used it much. I think when I first got it, I thought it was really, really cute, and but then something else caught my attention and I moved on. But I like the way, I've tried it a few readings with the Enchanted Map just to make sure that there is a cohesiveness here and that they are vibing well together, and they do. So I think I will be taking the Ostara Tarot to be paired with the Enchanted Map on this trip. I would love to take the Ostara Oracle with me, because it works equally beautifully with this tarot. But, I'm essentially going to be gone all of May and all of June. So I'm looking at Beltane and Letha, and I think I'm going to take one of those two decks instead of the Ostara. So anyway, that's going with me. Okay, now I'm going to use Obsession, a deck I am completely, well, actually there's two now, completely obsessed with, and I cannot get enough of this deck. Both of these. I know I posted a spirit guide reading with these on my Instagram account, and I'm going to have to, folks, I should have done this ahead of time. I apologize. Tarot of the Fairy Folk, and I have got to make sure, that none of the naked women are showing up, because God forbid there has a tarot card with a naked woman on it. Celtic Spirit Oracle. Oh, totally in love with this deck. And they pair beautifully together. And I have been using a trio with this Wisdom of Avalon, which is another Colette Baron Reed deck, and putting those together. And oh, geez, the readings. Oh, if you want a trio and you like fairies, that's a trio. I tell you, they work so well together. But if you will allow me real quick, I need to pull out these, like I said, cards that have naked women on them, and it's pretty much this entire deck. All the women in here are, yeah, there's a few that have clothes on. Most of them do not, but I think we're safe now. Just show you these together. His name is Cheeto. Why is his name Cheeto? I wonder what significance that is, but it doesn't say in the book. I think it's hilarious. I love pips with imagery on them. I like it that way. I'm not necessarily just a straight pip deck, with the lines and the swords and just the cups and rows and stuff. Marseille, I guess. I've never been interested in Marseille. I did buy the Squid Cake Marseille just to give it a try, and if I was ever really going to go straight pipish, it would be probably with that one, because the rest of them, the art style is not my type of art style. It's not what I'm generally drawn to. I don't care for medieval type art. I don't, that's just, I don't know, it's not my thing. Anyway, this art style, this I love. And they have been working together beautifully. Oh, they really have. This is one of, I'm going to say three. Is it 3 decks? One of 3 decks where I broke my self-imposed rule of, got on my soapbox and said, I will not buy a deck an Oracle deck with less than 44 cards. I'm not going to spend the same kind of money on 36 cards. That's, paying more for less. I'm not going to do it, blah, blah, blah. You know how you do sometimes. Well, I've broken that rule 3 times now. Sue me. I'm loving this. And look at this Crone Fairy Mother. But yeah, I am so obsessed with this deck. I love the artwork in this. It's very storybookish. I love the artwork on the Celtic Spirit. Look at her laying in that flower. It took me a minute. I didn't realize that it was a fairy laying in the flower. I just thought it was a pretty flower. It's just gorgeous. And look at these. Oh my God. Look at her little ears. Well, I shouldn't say little. They're kind of big, aren't they? Oh, the sweet little face. But this is adorable. Look at Grumpy. He reminds me of, what was his name? Lord of the Rings. The dwarf. What was his name? Come on, tell me. I think it started with a G. Didn't it start with a G? Why can't I get it? It'll come to me later. You know, that's who he reminds me of. But some of the images on here, like these little dwarfs or little gnomes, are just so cute, and they remind me of Snow White. Have you seen the new Snow White movie? If you like musicals, you will probably enjoy it. I, for one, love musicals, love fairy tales, and I was dancing in my seat and singing along quietly, very quietly, even though the theater was not packed, so it was cool. I really enjoyed that movie. Yeah, it's a bit different than the original, but that's okay, you know, because things evolve. We evolve, you know, so the telling of a story can evolve. It's all right. I mean, if you go back and look at, I'm on a tangent here. If you go back and look at the original Grimm's Tales and then the original movies, the black and white movies of let's say Beauty and the Beast, very different than a Disney movie. Very different than a Disney movie. You know, and honestly, the fairy tales, the Grimm tales, they weren't made completely for children. They were made to scare the bejesus out of anybody who read them. And the parents wanted to pass that on to their kids. Well, they did. But they certainly, in my opinion, weren't fairy tales. They were more like life lessons tales. Anyway, this deck is just, it's adorable. I'm loving it. And honestly, can I go, will they let me in? Will they let me cross the border into Ireland and Wales if I don't have a fairy deck? I don't think they will. I think they would kick me right out. I know my grandpa, who was from County Cork, Ireland, he would be yapping in my ear saying, where's the fairies? Where's the fairies? Bring the fae. Come on. So these two are going with me. And I'm obsessed. Gosh, I wish I could show you these pictures of the women in here because they, you know, they're beautiful. Naked, but they're beautiful. And, you know, really, YouTube needs to get their crap together about this censorship of the female body. Actually, America needs to throw away their puritanical BS about the female body. Or naked bodies in general. Oh well. Another rant. Okay, next one. You came here to see decks, not to listen to me rant. These two. This one is the Enchanted Forest Felines. I think that's what it's called. Those are the backs. Oh, cute. Okay, cat deck. Gotta have a cat deck. Love my cat deck. I would probably take Soul Cats if I could. This one is Season of the Witch Letha. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the edging on that. Beautiful. Yep, I would probably take Soul Cats if I could, but I don't want to have the added guidebook. And I like the guidebook. I love referring back to the guidebook during a reading. I don't read for others. I just read for myself. And I love getting into the guidebooks. I want to see after my intuition tells me what the reading is. I like to go to the guidebook, and not for affirmation or not to confirm, but just to see what the author had in mind. You know, what their interpretation of the card meanings is. And I really like the guidebook, but I don't want to take any extra books except for the Ostara, and it's a very small book, and it's not heavy, so I can take that. But these two, won't these two be beautiful to work with in June if you like cat decks? And they've got my two favorite cats Oh, I've had a lot of cats in my life. My favorites, Siamese and Calico. Those have always been my favorite cats. But this is kind of cool and sort of interesting. All of the knights are, I want to say this is a rag doll. Is this like a rag doll? Is it a Persian? Could be Persian. I don't, not sure. If you know, let me know. And the cards have been changed. So the wands are branches. The swords are dandelions. They're dandelions. How cute is that? The pages all wear a little hat with a feather in it. So this is a page of branches, page of wands. They're just so stinking cute. The mushrooms are pinnacles. Dandelion. That just kills me. Oh, I should be flipping this too. Sorry about that. The king of mushrooms. I believe all the kings are black cats. So this is a king of pentacles. Look at the knight of dandelions. Right in his mouse-cycle, his mouse-mobile. This kills me. Sorry. Probably one of my favorite Three of Hearts. It's just a big ball of yarn with a little mouse toy dangling down and dandelions blowing. I really like that. I really like that. And this chariot, oh geez, this chariot card kills me. Look at this big cat sitting on some leaves, and he's driving some squirrels. He has squirrels harnessed up. All I can think is that's a disaster waiting to happen. Good luck staying on your path there, buddy. This deck kills me. The Queen of Dandelions, Wheel of Fortune. I have to check. I don't know if all of the queens are gray tabbies or not. They might be. Maybe we should find some queen cards and see. But if you haven't seen this deck, check it out. It's adorable. It really, if you like cat decks, you know, some people aren't into animal decks at all or cat decks, but I am very much so. I love kitties. Look at the Knight of Saucers. He's sitting in his cup. Two branches. No, there's a Siamese. That reminds me of the couple Siamese kitties I used to have. I miss them. In the world. In a box. She's laying in a box. The mama kitten with all her babies around. She's laying in a box. Yep. That's so cute. So, yeah, this one's going with me. This one has to go with me. I like it too much. It's just too stinking cute. One card I wanted to show you, if I can find it. And what prompted me really to say, okay, I need this deck. This one. Right there. The Lover's card. Two Siamese with the Calico. I mean, that's my heart. And a little fire going on a little branch here. That's just so stinking cute. I love that. Okay. I can gush about this, but all animal decks hold my attention. I don't get tired of my animal decks. I can sit and play with them. Probably the only one, as far as tarot goes, that I don't get tired of the imagery and the artwork is the animal decks. Am I weird? Am I strange? Or is it just what I like? I will say I like the guidebook on this. The guidebook is really good. The artwork is, I'm in love with the artwork. The box that this came in was adorable. I did get this off of Amazon when I got it. I've edged it in like a light blue and a light green to go with the back, because the cardstock on this, that is not my favorite cardstock, I will tell you. It's like easy to shuffle, If you don't have it and you were curious, this thing is a dream to shuffle. I mean, seriously. But I am very reluctant to overhand it because I did it twice and it started chipping already, and I'm going to do it just so you see. I am probably the world's slowest and easiest shuffler like this because I take care of my decks. I value my decks, and I don't care if they cost $8 or they cost $80. I'm going to take care of them, and I'm an easy shuffler. But just doing this 2 or 3 times, and I've already got chips in it, and that depresses me. It really does. I hate that. I like the deck so much, and then cardstock. What you gonna do? Excuse me. I need another sip of water here. I want to take, and I try to do this when I go away, if I know I'm going to have a little bit of time, and on the 2-week sail over from Florida to Southampton, I'll have that time, is to bring a deck that I want to get to know better, or I want to study a little bit, and I'll have that time. So I picked the Osho Zen Pocket Edition. I saw Lisa Pepez's video where she was comparing this deck with the Sacred She Tarot by the same creator, same artist, I should say, Ma Diva Padma. And she also did the Tao Oracle, which I love. I'm obsessed with that one too. I'm not taking it with me because it's quite large, and that guidebook is a chunk. But this I can do. But when let me go back. I'm getting ahead of myself here. When I watched Lisa's video, I was thinking to myself, as she laid out the cards, that this would be a perfect oracle type deck, and if I had the Sacred She, I'd be using that as a tarot. I would use this as oracle and that as tarot. However, I liked the artwork on this deck better than the Sacred She. And the few times that I have played around with this deck, I've just sort of thrown a card out and started talking, or asked a question and threw three to five cards down, and just let the names on the bottom lead me like an oracle deck. This one is New Vision, and that the purple star there, if you don't know about the Osho Zen, this is essentially the Hanged Man. The blue 6 here is going to be cups, so that's the dream. This one is the High Priestess, so there's the 2 with the purple, and that's what these stand for here. This one is Adventure. That the rainbow, I believe, would be the Pentacle suit. All the purple is Major Arcana. So this is cool. That's Justice. Well, I may have to refer to the book because I haven't really looked through the book yet. It's either Justice or Strength. 11. We have the 8 of Pentacles. This Chariot, Awareness, that's a 7. Postponement, so the gray one will be essentially the Sword suit, so that would be the 4 of Swords. But even if you don't don't look at these and just go with the keyword on the bottom of these. This makes a great oracle deck too. It's like a twofer. You get 2 for 1. I like that. I think that's kind of cool. So I'm going to take this one with me. One, it's small. It doesn't weigh much. And I can get to know it a little bit better. I'm really, really interested in this. I do know, one thing I did notice about the sword suit is their sword suit is a little harsh. The whole thing is a little harsh there. I mean, that is the knight of swords, and it's fighting. I guess that's Osho. I know that, or I've heard on TarotTube that there's some sort of controversy with him. I don't know what it is. I would have to look for it. But to me, I'm using this as I either need to seek a master or I need to be my own. Not that I need to seek a master, but a mentor, so to speak. Morality. This is the Queen of Swords. My goodness, that's pretty harsh, but she's got her head in some pretty dark clouds up there. Anyway, I can get carried away with this, just going through the imagery on this one. I did edge it in one of my favorite reddish colors, vermilion. I love that when I paint and stuff. I love using this color for pops. Instead of a true red, sometimes I'll just pull out vermilion and use that. The only thing I didn't like about this, look here. So I'm making a bag, and now I have to make it taller to fit, and slightly, just slightly, not too much, slightly wider just to fit the little guidebook in it. So I'm thinking, couldn't they have made the cards just that much taller, or maybe even shrunk the book? But it is what it is. Just me being a little bit picky. And I think the last one here will be this little angel deck. It's by Diana Cooper. If you don't know Diana Cooper, she is all over. She's put out so many books, and I have her dragon oracle. She has unicorn oracles. I think she has fairy oracles. She's books. She's got several angels. She has oracles or cards for, I think, Atlantis and something else, I forget. My hack job, but it sure looks pretty when you spread it out like that. It's not, doesn't have like, you know, one solid color. Don't like the backs. I don't care. I'm looking for the messages, and that's all this is. It's about messages, and it's from the angels. There's no guidebook that comes with this. This is your message. So you pull a card, let's say fun. Let's pull fun. And your guidance for fun is to take time to enjoy yourself, relax, and find your sense of humor. Treat things lightly. Fun brings lightness of spirit, and the most difficult situation can be eased if you see the funny side of things. So cultivate a sense of the ridiculous. How can you bring play, laughter, and fun into your social life, your relationships, your work life? When you have fun, the angels rejoice, for there is nothing they love more than joy, play, humor, and laughter. And you get a little affirmation. I master my emotions. I think, don't quote me, I think there are 50 cards in this deck. It's just a little small, sort of a playing card size deck. But yeah, I'm taking the angels with me, because who doesn't? Well, I shouldn't say who doesn't, because I would love to pull an angel message and talk to my guardian angel while I'm touring around, maybe, and pull a message. And just another little fun deck that I have in my deck arsenal here, my deck collection, that I can use when I am out and about. But I've been pulling one of these a day, or every 2 or 3 days, something like that, for about 4 or 5 weeks now, and I really enjoy these. Really enjoy these little cards. They also have some archangels in here. I think Gabriel, Michael, Zadkiel, Chamuel, Uriel. Yeah, there's a few archangels in here as well. So it's a really, really cute little affirmation deck, and letting my guardian angel give me a little specific message. Okay, I think that's it. I would really love to take a black and white deck with me, because I love calming black and white decks. They just, I don't know, I zen out when I have a black and white deck in front of me. And I keep thinking about Bianco Nero Tarot and the Dark Goddesses Oracle deck. I keep thinking about those, but like I said, I have to be very careful so that I don't go over weight limit, for my suitcase, in the airplane. I can only carry so much in my backpack, and I end up with my tablet and my Kindle and my backpack and my wallet, and I always have a couple of tarot decks or an oracle, at least one tarot, one oracle in my backpack, and whatever else I need. But inquiring minds want to know, and when I say inquiring minds, I mean my mind, my inquiring minds, my curious mind, because I am ever a curious person. When you're planning for a trip, do you find it difficult to decide which decks to travel with, or am I just the odd bird here? Because I agonize. I really do. I agonize over which decks I'm going to take with me, how many decks I can take with me. I mean, if we were sailing over and sailing back and I didn't have to worry about weight limit on my suitcase, I'm looking at all of my cards. They were all in front of me right here. I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, oh, I would take you and you and you and you and you and you, and you would go, and oh, I would take that book, and I would take that. Crazy, I know. But if I'm being real with myself, we are going to be off that ship so much. We're going to Bruges, and I'm going to Norway. I get to go. I'm going to Norway. You have this. This is like a dream that's been in the making for a few years now, and my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm going to be doing a land tour of Wales and Ireland and Scotland. I'm going to be back in England, which has always felt probably the closest to home to me, in all the places I've ever lived. I'm so thrilled to be going back. I'm going back to Germany. I haven't been to Germany, oh gosh, since the mid-'80s. And I think we're going to Hamburg. Where else are we going? We're going to Copenhagen. I'll try and figure out how to say it correctly. I don't want to offend anyone. And I think we're coming back to Bruges again. And I think that one of the little mini cruises we're doing while we're over there is going into Spain. Oh, it's going to Seville. I was there in 2015, and it was one of the nicest, prettiest places I think I had seen in a long time, and I thought I could live here. I loved the vibe of it. I really did. It was awesome. Anyway, thanks again for spending some time with me, and if you want to chat about any of these decks, or if you have any suggestions of decks that I could take, or let me know which decks you take with you, or your non-negotiable decks that you always travel with. I'm always curious about that, and that would be awesome to know. So until next time, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time, and peace. Peace and love. Bye.